Save TNT. And I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Those on TikTok, those on Facebook, those on all the other social media platforms, those who are going to view it live, those who are going to view it later, to all of those who are messaging me right now. Yes, I know all the meetings I have today, but I just did an interview with Akashvani and Satish Mahavir, and I wanted to follow up on that interview because I thought that so much more needed to be said. I want to thank him so much. His show, he is such a critical thinker. I'm going to tell you, Jehul Brown, Uvashi, Tiwari Rupnarayan, Satish Mahavir, we have some strong journalists in this country, that if given the opportunity, and I want to tell you something, all of that are the things that the Progressive Empowerment Party would like to fix. We would like legislation that distances your license, your broadcast license, your ability to publish, newsroom from the boardroom. You cannot influence and call it free media. You have to decide. The reality of our situation is that the country has been set up to fail, and that's what I was talking to him about. It. Every single thing that is a problem in Trinidad and Tobago, you just roll it back a little bit, you get to the source. You get to the point where it's set up to fail. Everything. Everything. So all of these little, they stand up on a platform and they give you all of these bandages and these knee jerks and these vaps and these whoops. And I want to tell you, that's not how to fix the country. To fix the country, you have to literally reinvent Trinidad and Tobago. We have to reboot this republic. We have to go back to September 1st, 1962. And from the first act, when we reclaimed possession of our country as a nation, as an independent sovereign nation, we were supposed to put certain things in place to make Trinidad and Tobago functional. Everything could be dealt with, and everything should fall under the ambit and within the environment of a properly set up and operational country. We do not have that. When you listen to the other politicians talk, it's zing, zing, zing. Oh, you zing me back. That is not enough. We've zinged and zanged for too long. What we want is politics that serves us, government that represents and delivers to us. Government is not royalty. You're not electing me to walk on a red carpet. You're electing me to roll up my sleeves and go down in the river and fix it. That's government work. We've lost sight of what it is supposed to be. Voting will fix that. Thank God you still can. You may not for much longer if you continue along these paths and let these people do all of these crazy treaties that they're selling us for. And as hard as it is to believe that this could become our reality, or that people could be so deviant and devious and mistrustful, treacherous, betray us, I mean, you have enough evidence, and it's hard to accept and it's hard to face. And I know it's hard to face the truth that parents trust priests with their children, and the priests molest the people children. They should have hanged those priests. Those are normal men. Those are men. You should not get away because you're a priest. And just use that as an example. The banking sector in Trinidad and Tobago is raping the people of this country. People should have been jailed for the laws that they wrote, that they passed in the parliament. We have created government in Trinidad and Tobago to oppress, repress. We've created government in Trinidad and Tobago that just takes advantage of the taxpaying public. The law-abiding citizen has no say. The friends and financiers and family members of the government, whoever is the ruling government, that's what they're all fighting for. They're fighting for power. We're fighting to serve. And it's not that we're afraid to talk power. All you know, a fella called Dave Hernandez, a PNM talking head, put out a post and I share it. He said, Pep is the opposition. PNM no. PNM no. When PNM talking, Pep is the opposition. Not parking we there. They know him because they're acknowledging that all the Kamla talk is a waste of time right now. Because in war, you know that you have to focus on the right enemy. You can't be outside there with your snipers shooting squirrel and pigeon on the other side coming at you. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a massive force for change. And they know it coming because every single person who wants to write a check for PNM or UNC, their wife, their husband, their friends, their family, their workers, telling them, boss, we voting PP, you know. So you're throwing that money away. You're burning that money. You might as well give that money to the Progressive Empowerment Party because that's who we're voting for. Everybody voting Pep. Why? Because they're voting for my mouth. They're voting for the things that I said. They're voting for what I'm standing for. When this shatter share, this was it freedom, news before the news poll. And next stunt, Gary Bright, you know, news before the news. Here what you gonna do, eh? You gonna run a poll for me, you gonna put Rowley Party, Kamala Party and Gary Party next to NTA, because when you have to put Gary Party next to NTA, there's asked, but why you have to put Gary Party if it's popular? Because you're winning the vote by 56% and you're not counting Pepper, forget that. So you get news before the news to give you a bullshit poll, and then you go by your girlfriend Evie George, who running this thing called E-News. That's Evie George News, E-News, and then she will say, Gary winning the poll, and then Enchan will take it from there. Look who we win, and then Saran will come and say, oh, yeah, watch these numbers, watch these numbers. That is the circle of bullshit. Gary Griffith has created a circle of bullshit, but I'll tell him something. You know when is the real poll, brother? 27 days. Make sure them bots that voting for you could actually come and go in our polling station. I ain't staying focused on you, but I just want you to understand all of this. Linda's Bakery donation money, that's where you're using Peter George money, that's where you get it from, to spend money on these bots, to pretend that you have any substance. How could you run a poll about you and UNC and all that together? What it is going on? Anyway, I will leave that for Rambles, Trini Driver, to deal with all here, because he cut into the core and them thing, and I told Ian Griffith, tell Mr. Rambles and anybody who know him, tell him, I taken interviews with anybody. There is only one condition. All of my interviews have to be live. It have to be live. No go back and edit and change up my words and make it sound like I say something different. I will take an interview with anybody. I was walking through Gulf City. Satish Ramsaran and I was in Gulf City. We stopped to get a coffee because we going to a meeting in San Fernando. And a man named Nicholas Jaikaran walked up to me and said, Mr. Alexander, you mind if I interview you? I said, not at all. When? He said, no. I was standing up there with a box of food in my hand at the top of a staircase in Gulf City, and he went live. And I answered him all the questions. And I have no problem with that. I am willing to open the phone lines. I don't want you to screen the calls. Let everybody call, even the haters, the public hear, and they get a sense of what is wrong with the politics of Trinidad and Tobago. We need to go back to a place where government is about serving the people. And I want to tell you, and I told them on Akashvani just now, my mouth big, and I talk plenty, and I want you to give me the opportunity to show you why. I want to show you, after you give us a chance at government, any kind of government, give us local government, let us show what, and you know why? We don't have all the corporations, so give us the corporations that we have. And then compare. Local government does nothing for you anyway. It gives you nothing. You benefit from it, nothing. They do nothing for you. They waste your time. Give it to us. And compare the districts that the Progressive Empowerment Party, the Reunited Farmers represent, and compare it with the rest. Simple maths. You get to see. You get to sample. This cheese good, that cheese better. Let me taste both and I will make a choice. Let us show you what we can do. The reason people say Phillip will fix it and they're sending their trolls out to say, why are you only saying Phillip? Why are you only saying Phillip? Because the party is, the people vote the leader. That's why it's called Rowley and it's called Kamala and it's called Griffith. You have to call Phillip. But what burning them is the Phillip will fix it. The Phillip will fix it, stick in the craw, because they can't argue. Rohan Sinanan fought me on Gandhi Village roundabout, and he was counting his victory by how much people crash into the blasted roundabout. Until I went down to the roundabout, me and Satish and Lakshman Ramroop and the team, and we went down there and we put down our own barrels, lit barrels that Mr. Martinez, Edward Martinez from Trinity Lighting donated to the country. He said, if you're going to put up barrels, light the barrels. I'm sending to you what the United States uses as caution, and we got it, solar power. This is what Rohan and them thief and throw away. But it's not a problem, because we made the point and we saved lives. The Progressive Empowerment Party saved lives. Phillip will fix it, save lives, because for all the stunting jackass Rohan Sinanan is, he knew after we put down those barrels, when he came and took up those barrels, if he didn't put signage and rumble strips and barrels of his own on Gandhi Village, there'd be a revolt in South. And they knew that. So who fixed it? Rohan? or Phillip. And that's what people saying. Now the opposition and the government find gold in our river. Before Marissa Prasad raised the issue and fought for the farmers and the people of Chester Street, before we went down there, before we took engineers and contractors down there, before we committed to dredging the river, they wasn't taking their calls. Now they're down there. Now they want to fix. Now they want to dredge. Now they want to clean for the farmers. You know why? Because the Progressive Empowerment Party started working on the Golino River. The reason they go on Maruga is because the people of Maruga understood when we went down inside the crevasses and the canyons that they created with the collapsing roads, and we showed them basic engineering. This is how a road is built. This is not it. Where is the foundation of the road? There are foundations required for a road so that a road could be functional. There's a reason Wallafield Road, North Coast Road, and Shagaramas last 100 years. The roads were built in quick time, but with foundations and retaining walls where they needed retaining walls. Go down Shagaramas, any drain you pass that run under that road, go and see the blue metal retaining wall. Trinidad don't have equipment to cut that retaining wall, nearly 100 years old, and it holding the road together. And it is heavy equipment for souls be driving on the roads in Shagaramas. I want to tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, there is nothing in this country that cannot be fixed. And you don't have to like me. You don't have to like me. You know what to do? You could vote for me even if you dislike me. I want to tell Jason De Silva in B-Town, smoking weed all day and talking about me. Brother, you don't have to like me, but I promise you with everything I have, more over Beetham, Lavantel, and Sealots are going to get the point that I have been trying to prove. Home ownership, give them the opportunity to fix their homes, state support, create jobs. We want to create 35 to 50,000 jobs where the Beetham landfill is. We want to remove that landfill and create jobs for people. And we want to do that so that we could prove the point. The country never had to be this bad. But it benefited the PNM and the UNC and the financiers that the education system failed. As long as the education system failed and 8 to 10,000 children could fail out of that system every year, you will get people to work for you for nothing money. So you could be calling yourself a successful businessman, but your success is built on slavery, modern day economic slavery, because you're telling people that they have to have certain passes to get a job, but your education system not leading them to those passes. And your social management system know that it is fatherless children and wild and crazy communities, and you're doing nothing to protect that. So you've dropped these children into a morass of madness, and you've told them, find your way to keep up with the children of Bayshore. Find a way to keep up with the children of Regents Park. Find a way to keep up with the children of Goodwood Park, and telling them they fail. Bullshit. I'm vexed when I say the word bullshit, but I will level the playing field for them. And the children of Morva, Beetham, Lavantel, Sealots, and Cocorite, and Caranage, and Chaguanas, and Marabella train line, those children will get proper functional systems, proper functional schools, and their parents will get support, because we need to guide a generation over the hump. We have a gap. We have a gap in our society, a generational gap that goes forward of people that cannot feed themselves. We need to feed them, educate them, prepare them for jobs, create jobs, get them gainfully employed, give them hope, give them opportunity, and get out their way. Everybody want to buy a Westminster house. When Bahadur Singh built it, it was $75,000 for one. You're going to win one in a bingo. We know how to fix this country. We know how to redevelop this country. It's not only Azhar and Hadid and Sabda and Aboud who know how to make money. Everybody could make money if you give them a chance, if you give them finance, if you give them foreign exchange, if you give them opportunity. How much Sabda paying for where Bayside Tower is? How much? We talking about who getting benefit from the state. How much does Bayside Towers pay every year for the land that Bayside Tower is sitting on? How much did Grand Bazaar pay for the road reserve they built a car park on? And I am the only politician that will stand up for you in Wildflower Park. I will go and fight in Wildflower Park for you to keep your park. That is what government is for. Government job is to tell the banks that you cannot be charging fees. The banking relationship is based on you taking the depositors' funds and lending it out for 14, 16, and 18% and paying them about 3, 4, 5, maybe 6%. And everybody get a piece of money and everybody happy. You're charging fees and depleting the customers' resting bank balances and still charging interest and making money. That have to stop. We have insurance companies that selling people insurance, third-party insurance, motor insurance, that know that they're going to fail the insurance company. And they're going to fail it and go out of business, and all those people holding useless people. So you charge poor people $500, $600, $800, $1,200 for insurance certificate that only good to show police in roadblock. But it can't serve no purpose in an accident. And the same people who closing down the company today open back a new insurance company tomorrow, and all that money they collect before in the bank, and they're happy, and let me do it again. In this country, madness prevails. Those who have power control government. Isn't it time you had the power? Your vote is what matters. Your vote puts them there. Don't just vote black and Indian. Vote, I want a job. Vote, I want better. I want equity. I want my share. Vote for that. Vote for yourself. Vote for your family. Vote for your children. Vote for your future. Vote for when you're getting old and you have to, you know what a funeral costs in this country? You ever sit down to talk funeral? I just have to go through all of these things so I can understand. You know what healthcare costs in this country? You know, if you find out that your mother, your sister, or your child, your loved one, your husband, your wife have to get a surgery in this country, some kind of medical intervention, you know what it costs? The majority of people who are homeless in Trinidad and Tobago, besides drugs, you know, it's health care bills that destroy them. We could fix this country every step of the way. The Progressive Empowerment Party would set aside funding for first-time homeowners. The science shows, the numbers clear, that in countries where families own their homes, crime is way, 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 way down. The father has pride. He has the ability to raise his family. He stays. He raises his family. That testosterone in the home keeps the young boys, when they're coming of age, from wiling up and having to join gangs and be looking to belong. These are things that are known. We have these numbers. We're spending $9 billion on national security to play we running them down after. All of these things. All of these things. The police service in Trinidad and Tobago is failing by deliberate design. And Rowley's talk that he's going to create his mongoose gang to run down police is bullshit talk. It's them using your need against you, like they do with water. Water, you don't have water, so they could sell you pump and tank and water truck and water bottle, when the country have more water than it could ever use. The government's supposed to be responsible for creating jobs. Anybody who wants a job should have a job. That's the first job of government. 100% employment is the first job of government. Not by just you creating companies, but create opportunities for others who could create jobs. That's how they measure it. That's how they measure the economic index in first world countries. What is the jobs? What are the housing starts? Those two numbers. Boom, boom. Jobs, housing starts. Why? Why? Because it creates an independent group of people who are themselves responsible for the economy through their taxes, through their purchases. If everybody doing well, it pushes everybody up. It pushes everybody up. Oh Christ, this is such simple maths. But we have a small handful of corrupt people who just want the billions from their taxes. And they're comfortable with this gene pool. We want to break that. We want to mash all of that up. We want to create a country where every creed and race could actually find an equal place. Now, I know they're going to come and whisper black nonsense and Indian nonsense in your heads. But look at what you've gotten from the PNM and the UNC and tell me. And if the UNC was better than the PNM, great. But they were still a shit show. And it was still banditry. And it was still corruption. And I watch it and I'm wondering what's going on in the UNC. Because Kamala link up with Gary. But Anand Ramlogan, boy, Ravi Balgobin Maharaj, gone before the Freedom of Information request to find out about stuff that Gary did. So maybe the talk that the whole UNC going and fall apart and mash up after this election is true. Not my circus. not my monkeys. The Progressive Empowerment Party is an opportunity for real change. I know what I can do. You have seen what I have done. You know what this party is capable of. There are people who have heard my voice for years, and we've raised the issues for years, every single day, and people have been able to get themselves to a place where they understand how things work, and now they could vote sensibly. I am calling on Trinidad and Tobago on August 14th. Any district where there is a Progressive Empowerment Party candidate or a United Farmers Alliance candidate, go at 6:10 in the morning and vote. And after your vote is counted, you go and get everybody else and tell them, come and vote, because we're voting for the children. We're voting to protect the children from pedophiles. We're voting to protect the children from failed education so they're going to end up in gang and dead at 25. We're voting for a country where our people have a chance at a job, at a home. I was telling you just now, jobs is job one, housing starts is job two. The first two policies, jobs, 100% employment. The second policy is anyone, so you say anybody who wants a job could have one, and anybody who have a job and want to own a home should be able to. That is what you're supposed to hold government for. The rest is bullshit. All the rest is bullshit. If the education system is failing, it is Gatsby, Dolly, and Garcia and Rowley doesn't understand that as long as they continue to create this environment where poor people children failing, poor people children will become criminals, and you will send jackasses, former ministers of national security and former commissioners of police, to come on debates and say crime does cause crime. Nonsense! Poverty is the number one cause of crime. The number one cause of crime. Poverty not causing the 1% contract mafia to be importing cocaine into the country and using China as a transshipment port. Poverty not causing the 1% contract mafia to manipulate government to get contracts to launder money through the Ministry of Works and the Ministry of any of the ministries. No, all of the public. All of those special purpose companies laundering through contracts. It's not poverty causing that. That is greed. But that is a different kind of crime. That is white-collar crime. And it is the kind of crime that we set up to deal with. Because it is only the Progressive Empowerment Party that's name and shame them. And they could say what they want. They could twist, they could turn, they could cry, they could bawl, they could call for their mommy. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get representation that delivers. You get a government that will stand for you. You get a political leader that you could call on the phone, that you could reach at any time. You think local government is what I want to win? I want to win local government so I could show you what real government can do. After that, you will give us a chance at central government, national government, because you will see. And I'm saying there are 61 districts that could end up with a PEP or a United Farmers Councillor. And the difference in those constituencies and all the rest will be simple and plain to see in months. I will show you all that talk. They tell you, well, you're not in government, so you can't bullshit. Well, we don't have bullshit. We didn't get finance and bullshit. We didn't get money, but all that is bullshit. All that is, they want to sit down in the office and draw a salary under false pretenses and play he say, she say bullshit. And it is time for you to demand better. It is time for you, and I'm saying to you, there's nothing else. There's nothing else like the Progressive Empowerment Party. All of them pretenders, Gary Griffith and them just come down here for a walk, link up with the UNC because they shortcut lazy politics. But they didn't expect that people in their thousands would be coming out for the Progressive Empowerment Party. And now they're nervous. So now the shit talk starts. But I don't care. I want you to know that we will fight this fight to the very end. You are soldiers in the army for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Orange is our color. Come on board with us. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your family. Tell them, yes, I'm black, but I'm a Trinbagonian. Yes, I'm Indian, but I'm Trinbagonian. Yes, I'm a Syrian or a white or a Douglas or a red. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. What matters is all of us together, one people under one flag, fixing our country. And if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, make no mistake, August 14th is the day you could send the first shot back across the bow. Return fire. The Progressive Empowerment Party is your party. There is nothing else. We do not fight with bullets, we fight with ballots, but you give us the opportunity in government and we will show you what the courts are for, and we will show you what proper protest is for, and we will show you the power of people to get the job done. That's what you need. Yeah? Thanks a lot for taking the time. I really wanted to add to the conversation that I was having with Akashvani, but I'm on the radio. I can't use certain words like bullshit. I like to be able to say it. So the reality of our situation going forward, Trinidad and Tobago, you, today, we have 27 more days. Everything that you just heard me say, that you believe it, call 20 people on the phone and tell them, watch me. August 14th, we vote in PEP. If you can't vote, go and walk with them. If you can't walk, give them a donation. They need your help. They're not connected to the drug lords and the money launderers and the contract mafia. So they need our help. And together we could rescue our Trinidad and Tobago. We could take it back from all of these people who have used public office to feather their nest. I promise you, with everything in me, from Eric Williams' days to now, from Johnny O'Halloran Towers in Scarborough in Toronto, you will see Phillip Edward Alexander as Prime Minister touch down in Canada to talk to their Prime Minister to say, watch now, them buildings belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Our money was stolen and built that. If you're good and decent and you want to be part of a commonwealth with us, respect our sovereignty. Those buildings should be earning rent for Trinidad and Tobago. That's the kind of government you want. That's the kind of government you need. And if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago for you and your family, if you want hope and opportunity, if you want the ability to own a home in this lifetime, if you want the ability to better your job, if you're swinging a battle for a security company or putting fries in a box right now, that's a start, but that's not an end. I call in all the fellows who packing bags and groceries, all those who packing shells. I want the mechanics, I want the nurses, I want the teachers, I want the police, I want the soldiers, I want the firemen, I want Coast Guard, I want every housewife, I want everybody in this Trinidad and Tobago to say to themselves, for me, I voted for a better country, and I don't care what nobody else say. When I stand up in that polling booth, I am putting my mark next to the Progressive Empowerment Party for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Save TNT. Vote.